Hello, everyone. My name is Raquel. I'm from Luzón Foundation in Spain. And I don't think it's necessary, but I wanted to start here with some facts about ALS that I think everyone here already knows. But ALS is a very complex disease. We don't know the causes of ALS, and there's no diagnostic or treatment. So what can we do for this? And the answer is research. So I'm here today to talk about the way Luzón Foundation supports research. And I divided my talk in these different topics: basic and clinical research, patient registries, scientific conferences and events, information, advice. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. But before all this, I wanted to bring us all to the same page. And I'm going to show you in each slide for each topic, on the left side, what the need is, on the right side, what we do, and how we do it. So for basic research, we economically support basic research. As we just said, there's a need to discover the mechanisms of ALS to stop the disease. So we want to create specific lines of research, promote development of initiative ideas and projects, and we want to secure funding for the long term. So how do we do it? And the answer is collaborating. First, we develop a grant program, which is called Talento ELA. I tried to translate it in English, so maybe it makes more sense, but it's ALS Talent. And this is together with La Caixa Foundation. I will get into it really briefly later. And we just started this year also a grant program called Ayudas Unzué Luzón, and this is in collaboration with the Carlos III Institute in Spain. So Talento ELA is with one project that lasts for 3 years, and it is of 500,000 euros. So this is a project inside La Caixa Health Research call for grants, and we put 125,000 euros. So we started this collaboration in 2017, thanks to the friendship between the director of La Caixa, well, the president of La Caixa and the president of our foundation, Francisco Luzón. And we are committed to keep this collaboration at least for sure until 2027, but we really want to get funds to continue these lines of research forever, let's say. So I'm showing you here all the projects that that were the winners for the past years, the objective of their research, and some of the results that they are getting. Obviously, only the first ones are the ones getting more, let's say, publications, papers, and even the first one found a molecule that wants now to bring it to clinical trials. I won't talk about the projects in itself specifically because of the sake of time and the topic of the conference today, but if you guys have any questions, I will be really happy to talk about them later. And then Ayudas Unzué Luzón, in this case, we are going to fund 4 projects every year. Each is going to also have a duration of 3 years, and it's going to be between 100,000 and 160,000 euros, and we fully pay for it. And this is thanks to Juan Carlos Unzué, who is there in the right corner. He helped us, well, he was the promoter of a charity soccer game that happened last year between Barcelona and Manchester City. So we got these funds for basic research, for this grant program, and also for clinical trials that I will talk about later. And again, these are the winners of this year. And as you can see, in this case, there's not only one person, but several people in some of the projects. And this is because we wanted to promote collaboration between different researchers. So they had to make collaborations to get more points to get the grant. So At the end, programs like these, like Talentoela and Ayudas Unzue Luzón, at the end generates patents, publications, and it increases the interest of researchers on ALS, and this is going to get us faster to hopefully find the cure. But we not only give money, we also support our researchers. So when we first went to the International ALS Congress that happened in Spain in 2016, the scientists told us that there was a need for connection between Spanish ALS researchers. There were not that many, and they were spread out all around the country. So they needed to get connected. So we encourage discussions and collaborations between different groups. So how do we do it? Well, we have different ways. One is we organize the virtual meetings that happen every month or two. And in those meetings, what we want is that they get to know each other, so they present their labs, the objective, materials and methods that they are developing, the results that they are getting, if they are having any problems, how to solve it. We also take care of the communication platform. So we use Slack, and they're the same. They can share the results, the way they are doing things. Also, we share some funding opportunities that they may be interested in. And we also take care of the database. So each of them, all the groups, gives us their information, and we also share them with them so they know if they need something, who to contact and who to go with. And it's thanks to these platforms that, for example, the three ladies that you see in the image, Valle, Estela, and Mónica Povedano, they started a collaboration that actually this year was part of that collaboration gave the grant, one of the grants, the winner of one of the grants. So we also support clinical research. We saw that there's a need to increase the chances to get in a clinical trial in Spain. So we want to promote development of clinical trials and sites. So for this, we collaborate with TRICALS in different ways. So first, we are the only TRICAL liaisons in Spain. And this brings us together with the TRICALS board and also with other TRICALS liaisons. So we are in contact with other countries, other initiatives, what they do, what they need, the way we do things, how they do it, so we can share and be helpful to each other. But we also give funds for clinical trial. In 2021, we started giving funds for the Magnet study, and also thanks to Juan Carlos Unzue, because of the charity game that I mentioned before, we are also giving funds to the Lighthouse 2 study that was actually approved by the Spanish agency like a week or two ago. So at the end, this is the same. Increasing the funds increases the interest of researchers in these studies, and therefore it increases the possibility to be recruited in a clinical trial. We also promote ALS patient registries. So there's a need of understanding the clinical and the socioeconomic situation of ALS patients, and especially in Spain, because there's almost no information about this. Because there's no national registry. So we need to promote the ALS Spanish, and we also promote the European registry. And in the same way, we also collaborate with TRICALS, and in this case also with the Carlos III Health Institute, and thanks to the funds raised by the game and also some collaborators from Juan Carlos Unzue. We also participate in scientific conferences, and not only participate by actively giving talks, but also organizing scientific conferences, events, workshops, and so we are members of different societies. So in the ALS community, we really need to be all connected because we are stronger together, as we always say. So we want to bring together patients, scientists, doctors, journalists, pharmaceutical companies, payers, politicians, and this way we can all share information and advice and support. So in this sense, we organize international scientific conferences like Cincela, and also the International Meeting on ALS, together with Fundación Ramón Areces, which is also another Spanish foundation. We give workshops like clinical trials or drug development and regulation workshops. And we participate in different events like the one we are here today, also as YESCO, ASEM Forum, and also some workshops organized by the European Medicines Agency. And we are also members of different society like UPALS, TRICALS, Patient Organizations Platform. Finally, we also give advice, information, and support. There's a need to answer questions and to help solve problems. We here all know that we face many problems in the ALS world. So we really need to be transparent and disseminate science, information, support, especially those who need it, and especially people living with ALS. So for this, we have our website where we usually update scientific content. We also respond to emails and also phone calls, and we participate in different events in case people have questions, and we want to share also information. And in that sense, for you as well, if you have any questions, don't hesitate in contacting us. This is my email address and my phone number, but we are going to be here this weekend. It's going to be me, the president and the director of the foundation, who are sitting there with me, so feel free to ask any of us any question. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. So, do we have any questions for Raquel? The live chat or around there? David.
Hi. Actually, never introduced myself. I'm David Taylor with ALS Canada. I had a question about, you have a Slack group for the basic researchers. What's the uptake on that? Are they using it actively, or do you have to kind of push them to do it, or is it?
That's actually a great question. At the beginning, I thought they were not using it and that I was the only one posting things for nothing. But actually, I was really surprised that some of the things that I was posting, they were replying and they were really interested in, oh, I saw that you posted this call, can you please help me? Or even some papers, they were the ones actually posting them and starting a discussion about them. But I would say they are more active in the meetings rather than on Slack. But it's working well. At the beginning, it was really slow to make them work.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We have one question here.
Hello, yes, it's Rick Nelms again from the UK. Really just building the registry in Spain is such a great idea, and also spreading it across Europe where in the parts where it doesn't exist. And it's really just, how do we take that out into the rest of the world? Especially, how do we take it out into the really difficult places like Nicaragua and Angola and Yemen, for example?
No, I really have to admit that it's been a nightmare. So we started with this, I would say, maybe even 2 years ago. We started talking to different institutions to see first the way to do it, because it's like, okay, do we start our own registry? And we support it from the beginning. But then we thought this is not going to happen because we don't want to duplicate efforts and do parallel things. So there was a registry that it was not in all the country, in the whole country, but it had few patients there. So we started talking to the National Institute of Health because they were doing something similar to other diseases. And also so we collaborate with Ciber, which is kind of more the online platform. And they already had different contracts with different hospitals. So in that sense, the paperwork was going to be much less. But we also talked to another part of the Health Institute, and they were also having their own registry, but the data was just by patients. So we wanted that if it was for research, it needed to have a clinical part. So at the end, we decided to do it with this more online platform, because at some point, there's a registry. Each hospital has their own database. So what we want is that database is translated into the other database. And actually what we are doing is also in collaboration with Tricals, we are using the database that is going to be used in the European registry. So that way it's going to be easier later on to also move it to the European one. But it's definitely a nightmare. Like, we had to talk to many people, and this is still our baby. So we are in the process of the contracts and all that, so we'll see how it works. But what basically all the clinicians said, that they don't have a lot of time, but they are really interested in the results from this, so they would like to collaborate. So as long as it has maybe not 100 variables, but maybe the minimum ones to do a little research, let's say, they will be interested in even their own, by themselves, to just change these variables from their own database to the bigger one. But we still needed money to hire someone who is going to help in the process, because I guess it's not going to be easy. It's also a platform that it's already installed in all the hospitals, so it's not super unfamiliar to them, but it's definitely hard work.
Okay, thanks. That's really interesting and obviously challenging.
Yeah,
thanks.
it's really challenging.
Okay, thank you. I think I have 1 more minute for probably one more question. Anyone else? Any other question for Raquel?
We got a question from Aspa Karalipa from the Hellenic ALS Association. Can you give us a link to the European platform?
The European platform for the European registry?
I believe so.
Okay, so I don't think it's out yet. It's Tricals, the one that is developing this together with Precision ALS. So they are developing all these variables and all these data sets to see and to collect data first from 9 sites from different places in Europe, but I guess that it's still not available.
Okay, thank you.
So many of the things that I brought here today, especially the registries, are really babies. So we are just starting and walking the first steps.
Okay, so please join me in thanking Raquel for that excellent presentation.